Hello, good evening, everybody. Well, it's not even the evening, it's basically later afternoon, but anyway, that's not the point. Welcome to my lesson on how to use a homemade pentagram. Now, what is a pentagram? Well, a pentagram is a five-pointed star within a circle. And it has been used in ancient times for many various reasons, but for those who actually understand what a pentagram is, it is a tool, a summoning tool, or a sealing tool, or basically it is a tool that transmutes energy from the ethereal into the material on more of a physical basis. So very similar to, of course, just general manifestation. You don't technically need a pentagram in order to manifest. However, a pentagram can be used for more, it's basically used for sorcery. What can I say? Magic is really fun, and it can come in all different ways, or depending on the user and how they want to manipulate the energy around them. This, just like using a pendulum or crystals or whatnot, or dowsing rods, or a wand, crystal balls, things like that. A pentagram is simply another tool that you can use in order to harness, control, and manipulate your own energy flow. So I will like to mention, though, a pentagram in itself requires your understanding, requires your energy and your knowing as to what it is that you are trying to achieve or accomplish. Just like with conducting any sort of energy or magic in any way, shape, or form. We do it in science all the time. Just think of a battery. You know, in science class, when you were trying to get the light bulb, you made like a little diagram where you have the battery and then the light bulb, and you got to make the right kind of connections in order to get the light bulb to go on and conduct the energy flow. That's basically what a pentagram is. It is helping you conduct the energy flow and create or manifest what it is that you would like within a more direct way, or it's not really more direct. Basically thinking about what it is that you want, marrying your mind and your heart will get you directly what you want. But anyway, I'm trying to give a lesson on pentagrams right here. So I have created 2 different pentagrams, and you are more than welcome to, of course, create your own as well. You don't have to be as fancy as I did, but you know, I'm artsy fartsy and creatively gifted like that, I guess you could say. So I decided to throw in the extra bits and pieces. For yourself, what you can do is you can just simply draw a circle and draw a star, a 5-pointed star within it, and that is what will be done. Now, let's have a look at some of the pentagrams that we're going to be using tonight. Now, I'm going to show you a very basic spell as to how you can start to transmute your energy from the ethereal into the material. Now, if you are an individual who does not have a lot of energy, all right, and you have quite a large request or a large spell or a large transmutation that you are going to try to do, my suggestion is to be out in nature, is to be in a source of life and light, which is out in nature, where you can basically, the pentagram can then collect the energy of the surrounding area and use that to kind of fuel what it is that you are desiring. Now, I will say this for responsible energy practitioners. Whether, I don't really care what it is that you believe in, whether you are a light worker, a Wiccan, a witch, a sorcerer, sorceress, you know, so it's just a plain old individual who has no clue and is just interested in all of these things, doesn't matter. If you are planning to use this energy, please do use it wisely, and just know that you are literally going to be transmuting into the material world what it is that you are thinking of or summoning through. Now, if you are in a place of fear, right, even if you feel like you have the best intentions behind you, if it is fear, you will be summoning fear. A good example of this, if you are going to be using this pentagram to summon in love, for example, let's say you have a crush on the most beautiful man or the most beautiful woman or girl or boy or whatnot that you are trying to give your affections to. Now, if you are summoning or if you are trying to manipulate the energy so that this person falls in love with you or that you win them back in some sort of way, this is not necessarily through love or through joy. That is through force. And whenever you are forcing the energy of another individual, that requires more energy, which is wastage, which is fear-based. So if you are in love with an individual and you simply want them in your life, what you need to do is accept them for who they are. Understand them for who they are and be appreciative and grateful for who they are and not what they can give to you, right? And express that to them, simply put. And if they find you, if they feel the same way, then go on and be happy. But if they don't, then you will know that that is their free will and that is their choice. To force them into a relationship with you is not a positive outcome. Okay? So that's just a little bit of an example. Also, another example, if you are going to try to use this to win the lottery or gain immense amounts of wealth that you do not actually need, that is not using love energy, that is greed. And if you are trying to summon in greed, that is an element of fear, because that is telling the energy that you need to be in a place of insecurity, right? In order to want such phenomenal amounts of cash that you do not technically need. And I don't give a shit what you're doing with it, whether you're like, well, I was going to help the world and give most of it away and make sure people are happy and so forth. It doesn't matter. That is still an element of greed. Because at the end of the day, when we truly want the best for individuals, all we must do is wish them well with our energy that is pure from our hearts, right? And our energy will go to them and their health and wealth and well-being. Simply wishing for wealth in order to distribute it is still greed, right? Because I know most of y'all ain't going to be like, oh, I've just won $1 million. I'm going to give all it away and have nothing. You'd be like, no. I'm going to keep this amount. I may give the majority of it away, but I'm still going to keep a lot of it. So you are more, it is, I suppose, easier or within light to wish for happiness, health, and wealth, or if you are in need of finances, which what I will do is I will show you a spell for financial wealth. All right. So again, we're not wishing for a specific amount, or we're not manifesting or transmuting a specific amount. We are saying to the universe, this is what I require. Please give me what it is that I require so that I can be in a place of financial wealth, health, and stability. All right. And whatever that wealth may look like, for some individuals, that is simply enough to put food on their table, clothes on their backs, and live happily, right? So we will see, we'll go through what it is that we are going to go through there. Now, that is my warning. So if you are, please do check what it is, your true intentions as to what it is that you are trying to manifest into the material in this moment, and just make sure it is of the purest desires of your heart and not of the ego or the mind that is trying to persuade you into fear and negativity. All right, because the energy is going to go through. You just don't want it to come back and bite you right in the ass. Right? Okay, so the pentagram that I'm going to be using is this little beauty right here. I swear, every time I use sparkles on a painting, it puts me right back into the 3rd grade. I'm just like, sparkles! But there is actually a very good reason for it. So the pentagram that I've painted here, and again, I have 2, which I will be showing you, both and what they are used for. Now, all of the paintings that I do are done through intuition. And they are done through intuition because that's how I know I've got the control panel down right. And that I'm not going crazy balls or putting in anything that is unnecessary, because everything does have a purpose and a meaning. So, as you can see, the outside of this pentagram is full of swirls of blue, of different shades of blue, light blue, dark blue, and white. These are both indicative of expressions, okay? So I am expressing my energy, which is surrounding the pentagram, right? And also infusing it with my crown chakra point, which is the white. So my knowing of who I am, not just who this vessel is, but who my energy is and all the power that comes within it. And the deeper the expression is, the deeper the want and the need, and the lighter the expression is, of course, going from the very depths to my expressions to the surface points of my expressions as well, melding it in with my crown at the same time. The continuous swirls are directing the energy into the pentagram itself. So it's kind of like the energy is all being sucked in to this pentagram based on what it is that I program it for. Now, we have all of these, the lovely rainbow colors that we have, right? But each of these rainbow colors do represent one of the chakra points that is within us all. And the colors of course, our being and how we make it into light. So we have, sorry, when I say light, I mean like bright white light of the crown. So what we have is we have, of course, purple for intuition or inner knowing or the third eye chakra point. We also have blue, which is for the throat chakra point, which is, of course, of our expression and what we are trying to express within the material world through this spell. We have, of course, red for the root chakra point, which is the manifestations or the material foundational base, right, of what it is that you are trying to create or summon in, right? It is also fire, the element of fire, which is, of course, that passion to start creating. We do, of course, have here, which is yellow, which is the solar plexus. Now, with the solar plexus, that is, of course, your willpower, all right? So I'm basically saying when you see me activate the spell, I'm like, okay, this is going to strengthen my will and transmute my will in this. Now, the strength of your will is determined by who you are and as much knowing of yourself as you have. If you still are at the point where you are believing yourself to be your avatar or your vessel, your flesh suit here, and you are not in understanding or awareness of your physical energy as to who you really are, and I'm not talking about just the body, I'm talking about your energy, the one that incarnates over and over and over again. So if you're not quite sure as to who you truly are, you will be summoning the will or using the will of who you consciously believe yourself to be. So if you only believe yourself to be the vessel that you are, you will be summoning the willpower of your vessel, basically. Now, if you are in awareness of who you truly are in terms of your energy, this will be using the will of your true energy or the truth as to what it is that you know of it at that time. Now, we have, of course, the orange section here, which is your sacral point, your sacral chakra point. Now, this is what I like to call not the oven, but it's where basically the foundation of your roots and your willpower kind of meet, or the ideas that you are creating within this material, within your base foundation, goes through your sacral, because this is where creation starts to form and happen. This is why babies are born in the womb, right? Or they are grown in the womb. It's the nurturing aspect of whatever it is that you are trying to create. This energy right here is going to nurture and grow it. And of course, your willpower is then going to transfer it to the heart chakra point, which is the green center. Now, the green center represents truth, all right? Or it is the transmutation center as to bringing all of what it is that you are putting in the outer circle, or in the chakra points, are all coming together. So this is, if you were baking a cake or doing a spell, this is all the ingredients, and this is the oven. This is the oven that cooks it all up for you and gives you the truth of whatever ingredients that you put in there. So this is, magic is a little bit tricky, right? It is a little bit, sorry, Sheila. It is a little bit tricky, because just like making a cake, you have to have specific amounts of flour, eggs, milk, sugar, baking soda in order for the cake to come out of the oven perfectly cooked, right? Because that is going to be the truth of whatever ingredients that you put in. So if you put in too much flour and not enough baking soda, then you may find that the truth of what you made is a flat cake that didn't rise, right? So this is like literally the truth, or the transmutation center, the flow, where it's going to come out, where the energy is going to come out. Now, the gold bits, as we can see here, gold is an excellent conductor. All right, it conducts energy at a phenomenal rate. Now, for those of you who are unaware of what gold does and only know it for earrings and jewelry, it can do so much more for those who understand what it is. It is actually, if you're able to get the formula and the transmutation right, you can create an elixir that will literally extend your lifespan. But that is very, very tricky. The Anunnaki are one of the reasons why humans were bred into slaves in the first place, because they wanted us to mine gold out of the earth. And it was easier for us to simply be down here doing that, because they couldn't really live on the surface to do it themselves. Plus, they're lazy as shit. Anyway, so the gold triangles will basically take the ingredients, right, from what it is that you are, whatever we're cooking up here, and funnel it into, or amplify the energy and conduct it into the center for it to come out and be whole or true, whatever the energy is. And of course, we have a gold ring as well, so that it is always circulating and transmuting the energy and bringing it all in. Now, if you wanted to, you can place further ingredients on here, but I want you to think that this is like the grill, all right? The grill to the oven or the broiler. So you don't put things on here unless it can manage or survive the grill, all right? Because since this is gold, this is going to be conducting a sugar load of energy. Now, for some of you who are just like, this is literally just a painting with sparkles and paint, and I can't see how this is going to be beneficial in any way, then to be honest with you, you may not want to try this out. All right. Just because if you're not in total awareness of just what you're doing and how important symbols is and energy is in conducting the flow of it, then sit this one out. All right. Because you definitely do not need to have anything special in terms of the materials to make up one of these. All you need to do is have awareness and understanding of what it is that you're doing. All right. So just putting it out there. So this is the first pentagram that we are going to be using. The second pentagram that I have, I will say this. This is a pentagram that we're going to be using for manifestations. And as I said, we're gonna do a quick spell of manifesting financial wealth, because I know that's what a lot of people are going to be requiring in the next little bit. So this is for positive things. If you are for growth, for development, this is like, yeah, I really want this, right? Wishes granted on that one. The next pentagram that we're going to be using is this one. As you can see, it looks a lot more intense. And the reason why I have two is because this is for when you're having a bad day. All right. The whole outside, as we can see, we've got a little bit of energy plumes here, which are gray and black, and with a little bit of white in there as well. Sorry, she's just grooming herself, Shayla. Anyway, now, and as you can see, again, we have gold stars, but also a few extra lines here, which are funneling up, and this is actually a K. I'm not quite sure if you're going to see this backwards or not, but either way, this is a K. This is my insignia, which stands for Kulipup, which is my energy, my heart's flow. And the reason why that is there is because all of the energy that is going to be taken in by this pentagram is going to be funneled up through the gold and into the K, which is myself. Now, why do I say this is a pentagram for a bad day? Well, The background is black. Everything is black within it. And whenever I am painting black, that means it is entity or fear sealing, fear mongering, and everything like anything to do with fear or negative energy gets absorbed. Just like black absorbs light, this is going to absorb the light that is within the darkness. Okay? So as it is absorbing the negative energy, so in these spaces, what you are going to be placing would be your fears, your doubts, the restrictions and obstacles that are obstructing your path to whatever it is that you want to achieve, right? And I want you to think this is more so, just the same way as with the first pentagram, you're going to have to be more specific as to the root cause of what it is. So for example, if you came in and you were just like, man, my manager Bartholomew, sorry if there's any Bartholomews watching, but my manager Bartholomew is a real dickhead. I'm going to get rid of him. I want him to be absorbed into this painting and put right there, and I want to get rid of Bartholomew. Well, the thing is, could you do that? Yeah, technically you could do that and get rid of Bartholomew. However, it is a double-edged sword. What this is going to do is this is going to absorb negative energy, transmute it through the gold, and turn it into light energy. Okay? So it literally absorbs fear and cleans it, takes the light out of it, leaves the fear and the blackness in the painting, but takes the light out of it and funnels it back into, for me, it will be Kulipup, which is myself, which is the universal energy of nothing but pure light, right? And so it's kind of just like a recycling system. Get rid of the waste and put there. Now, the thing is, if you were to put Bartholomew in this, yeah, Bartholomew's negativity is going to be sucked in and transmuted into light. However, he was never the real issue, right? Because at the end of the day, if Bartholomew's a dickhead and he's literally causing you suffrage and pain, what's really causing you suffrage and pain is the fact that you're putting up with the bullshit that Bartholomew is putting out there. So the root cause is not Bartholomew itself, because Bartholomew himself, there's plenty of those guys out there, right? Getting rid of one is not going to solve the issue. What's going to solve the issue is getting rid of your fear of compliancy, you know, or why are you compliant? I would put that down in the first place, right? I would put down the fear of reprimand, the fear of missing out or losing out on, because if you're putting up with your manager who's a dick, I'm sure you're only doing it because of financial wealth, right, or gain. So just being like getting rid of the fear of reprimand and losing out on money, I would put that in there and absorb that fear, because as the light is absorbed, it again transmutes back and amplifies your love energy again. Now, if you are amplifying your love energy, then that means that, great, that fear is now in there. All you got to do is follow your flow and not conform again, right? Because it won't go back there. Like literally, it's like having somebody go, oh, you had a really shitty day. Okay, for as many hours of a shitty day as you had, let's say you had 24 hours of a shitty day, tomorrow I'm going to give you an extra 24 hours upon the 24 hours that you already have. So you get 2 days for the price of one, right? So the next day is now going to last 48 hours rather than 24 hours. However, you still have a choice. You can choose to, at that point, go, you know what? Excellent. I am so happy. I've got 48 hours within this day. I can get so much done. I could rest. I can enjoy myself. I'm going to have fun. But if you chose to be like, I've got 48 hours in the day, but now I'm going to focus on nothing but fear and negativity through my own choice, then it's a double-edged sword, because now you're basically going through an even longer time span of fear and negativity with the amplified energy to go behind it, right? So kind of like cleaning your whole house just to throw a shitload of dirt all over it again and then be pissed off that you are having to clean up. It's like, no, you cleaned up yesterday, now enjoy your house. right? So that is what we are going to be using this pentagram for. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways that you can start to activate a spell. Now, one of the main things that I can definitely recommend is getting things that are going to conduct water or conduct energy, sorry, not conduct water, conduct energy very fluently. And we are going to be looking for things in the material that conduct energy very well. I, for example, will be using water in this moment, and the water that I'm using is within these little fairy light holders that I just basically, I took the fairy light out and just used the metal cup. Now, I do like metal. The tin, it conducts energy very, very well, and the water, of course, conducts energy too. Now, if you do not have tea candles or a glass or something that can hold water within it, you can, of course, use anything else that is a wonderful store of energy, like crystals, for example. Crystals do conduct energy very, very well. So you're going to need to program the crystal that you are using. If you have neither water, tea candles, or crystals, you can also write out a letter. Write out a little note and fold it up so that it is able to fit into one of the squares on your pentagram that you have drawn or created, or however you have made up the circle with the star in it, but whatever you're going to do, you're going to want to put it in there. Now, the thing about this is that it's not necessarily like the better you are able to conduct the energy, fantastic. If you can find water or if you can find something like that, that's great. But really, it's all about you. You are the primary conductor of the source of energy that is going through. All right, so you must remember that. You are the primary conductor that is going through. All right, so whatever it is that you want to, you can place items if you wanted. You can place an MP3 player, USB stick. You can place a pendulum, a hair tie if you want. Like, it really doesn't matter. What matters in the moment is that when you are programming either the water or your item or your letter, you are feeling what it is that represents in that moment, because that is going to be conducted from you into it, and then as you place it on the pentagram, that is what is going to come into existence. Okay, so just remember that. Now, I'm going to bring back my pentagram here, and we are going to be doing a spell for financial wealth. Okay, so, and when I say wealth, like I say, again, it is whatever wealth is to you, to the truth of what wealth is to you, not to the truth, not to the lie of what society says financial wealth is, which is laden with gold and diamonds and having butlers and servants and everything. Wealth is to be well off, basically. That you are doing well, that you are in abundance, that you're wanting for nothing, really. That doesn't mean that you have to have a bank full of cash all the time, because that's just insecurity. It just means that you are comfortable and you are well off in what you are doing on a regular day-to-day basis. Okay, so the first thing, I'm going to hold this like this, and so hopefully this works out, because normally I put it down, but Shayla's in my lap and I don't want to disturb her. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to think of what it is that I want to program in when it comes to financial wealth. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start here is we're going to start with our knowing. All right, I'm going to get my first cup of water, and I'm going to take just a little sip out of it. You don't have to take a sip out of it. I just found that this was very, very full, and I don't want it to spill on my painting. I have sealed my painting, but still, it's not good to get a bunch of water all over it. So the first thing I'm going to do is, within my knowing, my third eye chakra point, you can either say a spell, or you can feel it, you can do it in your head, or you can do it out loud. It doesn't matter, right? As long as you are vibrating in this moment. So as I'm holding this water, I know, and I can see it. I'm visualizing myself right now, and this is what you should be doing too. I know that I am financially wealthy. I know that I am full of joy, of energy, of love, of truth, and I am financially wealthy. TCOs, which means it is so. And I'm going to place this, without spilling this water, into my purple part. Okay. Now, how do you know if you've programmed the water correctly? You're going to feel a little vibration in your heart space or throughout your whole body. Some of you may get shivers, right? And you'll know that, okay, it's active, all right? And as you place it on this part, it is going to magnify the effect that is going through in the water, which you've programmed into it, which is, I know I am financially wealthy. Okay. Next set of water that we are going to do, all right? This one is actually not too full, so this is fine. We are going to place this within the expressions, right? So how do I express that I am financially wealthy? Well, I feel in this moment, as I know I'm financially wealthy, secure, and I'm flowing with that. I'm calm. I'm not even going to say whatever there's not in there. But how do I feel? How do I flow when I'm financially wealthy? Well, peaceful. Without any worry in the world. Calm. Just flowing. That's what I've got here. And I put it in there. Calm and flowing, because that's what I feel. In my knowing of who I am and where I'm going. Okay, next bit of water here. We are going to be putting this in our will. All right? Because how do I feel when I am financially wealthy in my willpower? Because I know this is so. I know it. And there's nothing else but financial wealth. I know it. That is my will. TCOs. Let's put that on there. All right. Now, next, we are going to be doing the sacral. Okay. So is the creation, the nurturing, right? So, for my financial wealth, I will nurture my flow and my heart's desires. I am nurturing my flow to gain my financial desires, to gain my heart's desires, to live happily, to live fruitfully, to live in abundance of wealth, health, and stability. Right? That is what I'm nurturing today. TCS. Okay, now we've got that on our orange. Now, last bit of water we have is going to go to our root. All right. So how do we feel when we have financial stability? We feel stable when it comes to the last part there. Now, I had to stop because I accidentally inhaled a little bit of fluff or spit or something. I was like, oh, okay, I gotta cough. Anyway, that's why I may look a little frazzled. Okay, so how do we feel financial stability? I am stable. I am secure. I am financially stable. I am secure. With everything that comes within that. TCOs. Okay, so we have all of our water that is now programmed to the water and is being transmuted through the energy. And what we are going to do is we are going to seal it with a final, we can say a spell, a phrase, a prayer, a wish, doesn't matter what it is. But we are going to bring all of these ingredients together and make it whole and true, which is what is going to be produced from our vessel into the center here, and then we wait, and we let it cook. Okay, so in this time, in space, I take this place of financial wealth and abundance. This is my will. This is my wish. Let it be known, I am in bliss. Tisios. Alrighty. And there we go. Spell complete. So, once that has been completed, the energy is now held within the pentagram. If you are ever kind of just like, hey, did that work? Is this all working? I don't know what's happening. What I want you to do is imagine that there is a nice bright light shining from your hand, from your right hand. And slowly, just out in the air somewhere around there, just feel what the air feels like. And then as you know what the air feels like there's no resistance. It's just going through all nice. Now take your hand and push it towards, oh, it's already started, the pentagram. And what you're going to feel is around the entire board is this invisible force field. And it is pushing you back, right? Because you can feel that there's nothing stopping you over here, but as you slowly come towards the pentagram, it's like there's a funnel, right? The energy is just pushing you back, pushing me back. All right, so that's how you know the spell is active and it's going up. I will recommend trying not to put your hand within the pentagram's parameters, okay? Only because you don't want to be, when you cook on a cake, you don't want to be opening the oven and sticking your finger in it, all right? That's what it is. Okay, so that's beautiful. We will leave that over there. Now, you may think like, okay, well, when do I actually take the water out? And the fact of the matter is, you keep it there. That's basically what it is there. Until you gain that financial wealth, you keep it there, because that's what's basically funneling a shitload of energy up into the universe until you gain your financial wealth. Now, once you gain your financial wealth, then remove the water, and you are now free to use the pentagram for whatever else it is that you require or desire. If you do take the awesome sauces out of the bits, it just means that whatever energy that has been put out in there at the moment, it will return back to you. However, it will cut it short, if that makes sense. So the same way that you're baking a cake, if you take it out of the oven too soon, you may just get a little bit of a soggy center. Not saying that you can't have the outside of the cake, but you may have to just be like, oh, well, it didn't really finish baking. So definitely recommend just putting it away until you gain your financial wealth, and then putting it back. Now, if you're just like, well, I can't keep water around my house for that long, then basically put it to rest then, or literally use paper or something that is easier for you to manage. Now, if you're like, well, I want to still use my pentagram, there is another way that you can do this. You can simply what's a way that you can do it once the spell has been completed? To seal it in the material or keep the energy flowing, you just need to know that it's going at the same time. So if you can, like, I'm not saying it's impossible, because a lot of people can do it, right? But if you are very busy and you've forgotten about it, then that can be a little bit more difficult. But if you've done the spell and you know it's active and it's going through, then you're true, right? And so it will be so. You can then remove the water or the notes or so forth from your pentagram and continue to do the next spell. But it is just being awareness that it is you, and your awareness of it, and you are continuously thinking of it until, or in your knowing, until you gain what it is. So for example, I'm going to be removing that water because now that I've done the spell, I know I've done the spell. I'm aware that it's currently active and it is currently shooting up energy through that pentagram right there. So as I remove it, I can continuously use the pentagram. However, in the background, there will be that spell continuously going as well. If I overload the pendulum with too many spells, it just means you have a longer download time or a little bit more waiting to go through. Look at it like a computer. You know, if you download one thing at a time, it goes much faster. But if you're downloading like 4 movies and 3 episodes of Game of Thrones and, you know, some music and 300 songs of music all at the same time, it's going to take more of your download capacity. So it's going to take longer for you to get what it is that you want, right? So just bear that in mind when you are doing what it is you're doing. Now, on to the bits and pieces. As we saw how to do the positive, it is exactly the same thing when you are using entity sealing in this kind of pentagram. I'm going to keep that water there for a second. I'm actually pretty good at the moment. I don't feel like I need to do any of this at this very moment in time. But I just wanted to show you, you would be basically placing it here, 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 and one down here. Okay, so that would be your circular pattern as to where you want to siphon the energy. Now, don't get me wrong. With this, you can see that there's a lot more different lines and different spaces for you to add in the things that you want to absorb. You can do as many as you can fit in there, but what I want you to do is keep the center free, okay? Because that is where, like I said, just the way that's the cooking spot in the positivity, this is the extraction point in the negativity. So this is where all of this will come together, suck out all of the light energy, leave the darkness, and put the light back, okay? What you can do as well, just if you are planning to recreate this in your own home, by all means, I will be making copies of these kinds of things. Or if you would like me to paint your own special pentagram for your own spell work, all you got to do is give me a shout, and I'm happy to do so. I do the paintings on a donation basis, so you are more than welcome to offer a donation, and just a donation and some shipping. And whatever it is, I don't really care. So I'm happy to do that for you if you know that you're going to be using the energy wisely. Now, you can use my own insignia and have the energy funneled back to myself, which will go back to you, or you can use your own insignia, whatever that is that represents you, okay? And when I say that represents you, if your name is John Smith, think of how many John Smiths there are, all right? Do ensure that your insignia is specific to you so the energy knows where it is going to be funneled into. If you are simply using the K, which is for my insignia, that means it goes back into the universal energy, which will make its way back around to you, if you like. Totally up to you as to what it is that you want to do with your energy. So with this, as I said, to ensure that the spell is active and it's working, you don't actually need to keep anything on there. All you need to do is summon it in, pop the negative bits and pieces, whether that be on a piece of paper or doing the water like we mentioned. Whatever it is, the more complex it is, or the least complex it is, or your crystals, whatever is going to hold the information for you. And literally, once you do the final sealing spell, or just say a few words as to what it is exactly that you want to happen, bringing all of this together. So one sealing kind of spell that you could keep it really simple and just be like, forever will this fear and negative energy be sealed within this pentagram, and let the energy be transmuted into love and light within my name, TCOs, like whatever that is. You could even just say like, let the fear vanish, TCOs, or it is so, or that's my word, you know, just making sure you've got your will up in there and just be like, nah, man, this is happening. Put it in there and watch how the energy is then returned back to you. Okay, cleaned all right up and returned all right back to you. I absolutely love it. And once that's done, you can clear that off because it's already sealed and returned, and then you can just use it again for whatever other reason that you have. So I hope you enjoyed this and learned a lot. I know it was a longer video. Happy pentagram using, or happy tool using, and I will be coming out with more of these kinds of intuitive artwork, paintings and so forth, that can help to funnel and channel your energy, or by all means make one yourself. I hope you do, and start learning more about who you are, your energy, and start manifesting some really cool ass shit, right? Love it. Bye-bye, sweetheart.